Yeah, there's a question I want to ask too. When do you actually quit? Is there an appropriate time to quit?
Yes.
How do you know though?
There is an appropriate time to quit. It's so hard to tell. It's really hard to tell, and I am not a quitter, so it's possible that I don't know the appropriate time to quit. You will never get into that iPad.
I'm not going to try to get into it.
That's not how it goes. It does stay up, but that's not how it works.
Yeah, it does.
Anyway, I'm not really a quitter. I have statistically quit way later than I should have. Right? There are some things that I probably should have stopped before I made the decision to stop. And when you're an entrepreneur, you just have to ask yourself questions like, is this costing me more than it's paying me? And it might not be monetarily, right? Mm-hmm. Are you really... There are some people who have the story of, I was willing to lose it all, for my dream. Everybody's not willing to lose it all for your dream. So maybe set some parameters. Like in our investment account, there are what's called stop losses, which means that when you invest $100, say you have a stop loss set that says, okay, I am willing to lose up to $40. If I lose $40, quit. Like, stop. Maybe a good idea is to figure out what your stop loss is as an entrepreneur. What are you willing to risk? What are you willing to lose? What are you willing to never get back before you have to say, for now, I need to quit?
That's tough, though, Donni.
It's so tough because it's not...
be right there on the break.
You could be right there. Like, it's so tough, and it's so hypocritical of me to say because I'm not doing that. I'm going all in, right? I am going, like, I have learned about myself. I know when I know. And like, once I've declared something, it's going to happen. It's a matter of time. So the journey might not look easy. So I'll say, oh, once I declare and affirm it, I know it's going to happen. Well, there may be a lot of bumps in the road along the way, a lot of obstacles and objections and people who are saying I shouldn't do things. I might even fall completely off. But I still know, like, my mental fortitude is just so strong and I'm so convicted in my beliefs. I know, so I don't stop. But I've already decided that I'm a risk taker. I've already decided that it doesn't make me happy to quit and to not know. It's that, like, what if I was almost there feeling for me that I can't do. But if I had to give other people, I've also lost everything living that way, right? I've also put myself in very high risk situations living that way. And I believe that it depends on the person. Like, ask yourself, how much are you willing to lose? How easily or quickly can you rebound? If you are a person that if tremendous loss will have you second guessing your own life, you need a stop loss in place. Yeah. There needs to be a moment of quit for you, for sure. But if you are somebody who can take a punch and keep on going and keep taking the punches, make it happen.
I think one thing that's really helped me is I'm not focused on getting there. I'm more focused on being here in terms of the moment that I'm in right now. I'm comfortable. So while I was selling t-shirts, it was like, okay, I wanna make more money, but I am so happy in this process. And if we're looking at life as a canvas to paint on, right? I know, and I had this realization earlier in my career, that every single thing that happened to me in a negative light has produced something greater. Yeah. Not even maybe a tangible outcome, but if I didn't learn that lesson, I wouldn't be able to operate in the way that I'm operating now. So I'm not focused on getting there, right? Getting to 100 million. It's a goal for sure, but I'm so happy in the process of learning every single day and building every single day. And when viewership goes down. It's not like, wow, I need to quit this thing. I'm in the moment right now to say, okay, here's our challenge on figuring out how to get the viewership back up. There's something broken in my business. Let me fix the broken. Not for the fact that it's going to help me get somewhere, but I want to be the type of person that can fix some things and be a fixer of things. You know what I mean? So I'm developing myself along this journey and enjoying the ride. And I'm not just saying it from the position that I'm at now. When I was working at the Cheesecake Factory, I was so happy to go to work and sell a few t-shirts. I was just happy. Actually, my most successful year financially was my saddest. It sounds weird, especially if you haven't you see a goal. But when I was at my brokest, I was my happiest.
Same. I talk about that all the time. Remember, I tell the story, like when I lost everything financially and tangible around me, I was sincerely a happy person. I remember moving back in with my mom and I lost everything, like everything. House foreclosed on, cars repossessed, everything. I'm moving back in with my mom, and me and my daughter are sharing my old childhood bedroom. And one day my mom walks out of her bedroom and walks past mine, and I am in there like looking at TV or something, and I'm laughing. And she stops in front of my room and she's like, I just don't understand what you have to laugh about in your situation. And I'm like, well, what good is it going to do for me to be sitting in here sad and crying about it? Like, I lost things. I didn't lose me. I still have you. I still have Dej. I still have myself. I was genuinely happy, but also just like you, my most successful year financially was my least happiest year of my life. I shared with my family, like, I don't think I've ever experienced depression in my life. I've experienced sadness. I know what it's like to be brokenhearted, but I've always been like the kind of person that could be sad about something, but I still feel an internal happiness. I can have a broken heart, but I still feel an internal happiness. It was just, I understood it was situational. But last year was just heavy. Your girl was, I never want to feel like that again, like ever. And I don't know, I don't think that this trip just reset in a way that disappears, but it's definitely given me a new appreciation of things to be grateful for. It's definitely given me a new burst of energy and like I'm ready to get back in there and fight some more. I'm ready to fight this misery that I had been feeling, or this, and it's internal. There was no reason for it. I couldn't understand it. So it was heavy and scary. For the first, I just understand. So I understand what people are going through, like that guy Twitch committed suicide. Mm-hmm. And every shot you see of him, he's happy. Yeah. And he was known, everybody said he was known for making others happy. He would just call you randomly, text you randomly and check on your happiness. And here's somebody who carries that type of calling on their life, because that's a calling, right? To be in that, and the whole world feels this from you. And he takes his own life. Mm-hmm. I think it's a selfish thing to do, to take your life, right? I think, and the comments go crazy. There's no chance of that for me. I didn't feel like that, but I did feel a level of understanding for people who were misunderstood, meaning the whole world misunderstood that man was suffering on the inside, right? Maybe his family knew or didn't know, but the world misunderstood what he was presenting. They say that the loudest people are the saddest people. Mm-hmm. And he was loud, and I'm not talking about volume. He was loud, he was seen, he was out there, he was visible. So, you really, really, really have to check in with people, but also check in with yourself and be real with yourself. And to this day, I don't understand it, Dave. Like, I had everything to be just on top of the world and joyful for. Everything was going perfectly. Everything was going right. And there wasn't a happening. Nothing happened necessarily. Like, we can trace the beginning of your unhappiness. For me, it's just like, what happened? Why do I feel like this? But we are on the other side. We are feeling good, at least today. And that's the other thing. Like I said earlier, happiness is intentional. Joy is intentional. And you have to, if you go too long without doing these things that make you feel good and doing things that bring you real internal joy, it gives the devil and all of his work time to infiltrate your system and break you and, make you second guess things that you shouldn't be second guessing and feeling ways that you wouldn't normally feel. There's no reason for this. You're tougher than this. You're stronger than this. You were happier than this. So look, that's self-care. I'm so glad we're starting the year off in this conversation, because before you set a goal, before you start doing the work and you've broken your annual goal down into monthly goals and then weekly goals, and before you do that, like, check on the status of yourself. Yeah. We know where you financially finished off last year and where you want to go financially, right? We know how your team finished off and where you want your team to grow. We know what systems you were lacking last year in your business and what systems you intend to set. But where did you finish off last year? And where are you now? And where do you want to be? And let's create some metrics there that measure along the way monthly, just like you do every other goal. Create some metrics there that allow you to check in with yourself and make sure you're on track.